Hey everyone, I'm Kim with Abundant Life Tarot, and today we are doing my top 2021 indie tarot decks. That's what we're discussing today. I have them all here to the side, so we'll be doing that. So, curious to hear from you. What were your top indie tarot decks that you used last year? The criteria for me on how the top 10 comes about. It's not necessarily the decks that come into my collection, but the decks that I use that I really was grabbing off the shelf, and that's what led to these particular decks landing on my top 10 for 2021. There was once upon a time that I would uh, probably do a top 10, let's say 2017 or 2018, where it was all the top indie decks that I collected for that year. But things have changed and I have slowed down on my procurement of decks. So this is what we get. Well, hello. Thank you for joining me, Kim. I'm happy you are here. I'm super happy you're here, actually. So thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, no, I haven't used the Divine Circus. Haven't used that deck. I know of it, but I haven't used it. And funny you should mention it because I have I have been kind of called to work with that the circus archetypes. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I just haven't had a chance to do my little research that I like to do when I'm like, I need this kind of deck for my collection. So let me start doing some research. Let me start watching some videos on those decks. I haven't done that yet with the like circus theme. So thank you for asking. So yeah, we're starting a little early today, like 5 minutes early, because I wasn't sure how the internet was going to be. Thankfully, next Monday, we're having hopefully a better alternative coming out here to hook me up with some better internet. So, claiming it, drawing that into my universe that I'm going to have wonderful internet for, most of the time. I don't have to have it 100% of the time. So, let's get started. Similar to what I did back in December with my top 2021 Oracle decks, my top 10, I did like a countdown from 10 to number one. So that's what we're going to do today. Okay, that's what we're going to do today. So how is everyone as I gather my little list together here? How's everyone doing on this fine Saturday? Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready. And let me know, guys, if there's any issues with audio, if there's issues with seeing me, so then I know how to troubleshoot accordingly. Or, yeah, do my best. All right, so let's get started. Number 10. Number 10 that hit my list is the Super Lenaris Tarot. Ooh, isn't 3-day weekends just the best? It's like that extra oomph, like you need that extra day to like whether it's vegging day and then the other 2 days you're busy, or maybe the whole time it's vegging, which is my preference, but good for you. Good for you. I love 3-day weekends. So we have the Super Lenaris. It's got this cool box. I think I backed this one. I think, and what I wanted to do, because I thought it would be fun, is to look at my little spreadsheet. What's cool is now all of my decks are here on these two shelves. They're in here. I can't see because I'm trying to go to my Google Docs or Google Sheets, but I'll talk about it in a moment because I went back to the US to collect the remainder of No, it's not just you, Kim. It was frozen. This is very upsetting. The internet has been very unstable here, so I'm surprised that I'm even able to get here. So I'm just going to go through and see if I can get through this live. Otherwise, I'll have to record this as a video. My top 10 2021 decks. So my decks, the ones that I've collected over the years that I just happened to use quite a bit in 2021, the ones I really was pulling off the shelves. So that's what we are doing here. Hi, my friend. Let me know if you can hear and see me. The internet has been really shaky the last few days, and to the point where we have an installation person coming out on Monday to hopefully give us a better alternative. So, yeah, it's been quite the journey. That's why I started a little early today. So we're doing my top 10, and I have a list. Hopefully, I can get in this list easily. Try this again. And thank you all for those who watched this video on the Okay. Hopefully you guys can see me. Okay, so anyways, back at it. Number 10. Okay, so I'm frozen. Crap. Am I frozen now? Cannot wait. I cannot wait until Monday. I mean, I can wait, but you know. So number 10 on my list, we're going to go from 10 to number 1, is Super Linares Tarot. I love this deck so much. I love the little box that it came in. I love it when it's tight and compact. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That's why I'm going to breeze through this list today. I'm not going to meander. Not going to be meander at all. Here's like the little guide pamphlet. You know, you don't necessarily always have to have a in-depth guidebook. Sometimes this is just enough. This is so sufficient. I did use this deck quite a bit. I mean, relative to my collection, I used this deck quite a bit in 2021. As you can tell, can tell by the roughed up edging, the pink gilding, shiny like gilding. So I really, really like the feel of it. I like shuffling this deck. It's colorful. It's scenic. Okay. This is the star. Hopefully you guys can see me. If not, I'll make a video and post it later. And it'll be later because I wasn't planning on making a video. I really enjoy this Empress. Beautiful. Got the Two of Swords. So that is my number 10, the Super Linares Tarot. Just put that in the box, because at some point I'm going to put all these back on the shelf, and I want to make it easy for myself. So next up on my list of top 10 indie tarot decks of 2021 is, where are we? This one. The Slow Tarot by Lacey Bryant. And where are my manners? What's it saying here on who created the Superlunaris? Well, in my unboxing, I'm pretty sure I would say who it's created by. So I will be linking the unboxings that I did, or like if I did deck and focuses with decks, I will put them in the description box of this video. So if you want a more in-depth walkthrough, you can check them out right off this description box once I get a chance to update it. Yes. So the Slow Tarot by Lacey Bryant. And I backed this one. I'm pretty sure I backed these on Kickstarter, if my memory serves me correctly. I've had this one longer. Again, I love boxes that contain, whether it's a little guidebook, a little miniature one, or pamphlet. I like that it's all contained together. That's my preference. So it came with like the little card of authenticity, certificate of authenticity, number 553 in this lot. And it was published April 30th, 2019. So that's when I had it. It has a little guidebook. Here's the backs. This one is well loved. I used this one a lot when I got it. I just love the way it shuffles. It ripple shuffles beautifully. It reads beautifully. I used it for client readings. Ooh, it flipped. Let's see. 5 of coins. We'll go with that one. Go with that one. Here is the Page of Wands. Love that. The Moon. Here's the King of Swords. Nine of Cups. Such beautiful, fine art. Like, I think the publisher is listed as Modern Eden Gallery. So it's like, it's this fine art in the form of 78 cards. And I find it, that alone makes it special for me, but it really does read well. And for me, it lended itself well to love readings, especially like complicated love scenarios. And I guess I haven't really, maybe I tried it out for other types of readings, but it does read well for, and for me, like heart-centered type readings. This is the 5 of Swords. Okay, moving along. I'm going to stay the course today. I'm going to be on it. And the next one on my list, number 8. And I'm super excited because now I have all the boxes to my decks. I am one of those people who like to have the boxes with the decks. I will have fancy bags for them too. I'm a sucker for bags as well, but my preference is the boxes. So I went last month to visit family in the States where my boxes were for my decks, and they came with me on the plane. So yay. The Afro Tarot by Jessie Jumanji. Another nice little box, moon phases on the side. A guide, mini guidebook, it says, but it's like a little pamphlet. I think there's a new edition. I'm pretty sure. I know I talked to one of my friends out there about the fact that this reprinted, and this time I think it came with a detailed guidebook or something. And I don't think it came with gilding. But I've used this deck a lot, and the gilding is still beautiful on it, even on the edges. Here's the backs. Oh. It's actually one of my favorite decks, really and truly, in my entire collection. Three of Swords. Look at that. Very traditional, but anatomical hearts always like get me. I don't know why. I love seeing that versus like this heart. Like these hearts, I do, but I like to see this much more. Six of Cups. Ace. Page of Pentacles. Seven of Cups. And look at the Fool. I love this perspective of the Fool. He's looking back versus how we normally see the Fool leaping forward. And, even in those little subtle changes from deck to deck, it gives you a whole new way of looking at a situation in a reading that you're doing, right? Like it's a whole new perspective on things. And it's literally seeing his perspective change from what we normally see. The leaping person with the dog nearby. This is different. You see that? Here's the Moon. What do I love about this deck the most? I mean, obviously, it's a fully melanated deck, and that really appealed to me. But yes, it's based on Rider-Waite Smith, my homeschool tarot system, but it's done quite well. It feels great in the hands. It shuffles beautifully. To me, I really enjoy the quality of this deck, and it's just really beautiful. It's got that collage-y realism look to it. So anyways, I could go on and on about the Afro Tarot. It is one of my favorites. And it's probably always going to make my list for the foreseeable future. So there we go. Moving on. Ooh, I like this one. This one is in a little bag because the box did not make it from the United States. It was a tug box. It did not make it. So yeah, it's okay. Things happen. But I like the little bag that I have it in right now. So here's the Stretch Tarot. I believe this is the first edition by J.E. Stretch. Here's like the little booklet. I've had this deck a long time. It's one of my earlier, I think, unboxings. I'm pretty sure. I hope I still have it up on the channel. It's another favorite of mine. I don't use it often, though. And there was a time when I was doing readings early on for other people. I did grab this deck, and I liked it because I could use it for like male clients. It's more balanced to me in terms of masculine and feminine, art style and energies. So I enjoyed using it. But then after a while, I stopped using it. But I still really like it. I need to re-edge it because it's worn. I edge decks when I start to wear them out to kind of give them new life. But even that edging has to be refreshed. Ooh, I like that. This is This is Seven of Cups. Temptation. Do you see that? And let me say this before I keep going. Yes, so there is a new edition. Thank you. There is a new edition, and you all should check that out because it's a beautiful deck. I think there has been changes. Oh, I'm back. Here's the Queen of Pentacles from the Stretch Tarot. It's got key words up there. So yeah, the Stretch Tarot has been I'm reshuffling wrong. The Stretch Tarot has been a favorite of mine for a long time. Do any of you have the Stretch Tarot, or do you have any of these decks? Or do you have questions about these decks? I want to hear from you in either the chat or the comment section. I want to hear from you about these decks. And also, what were the decks you were using most? Like, it doesn't have to be indie. It doesn't have to be indie to make it to your list. But I divide them up because my collection is large. In my mind, it's large. So then I have to sometimes break it up so it can make some sense. Okay, so next one is in a bag, but I also have the box. Yay. So this is in this bag, this fancy bag, and it is the Bone Stone and Earth Flesh by Avalon Cameron, artwork by Anna Turian. This is a prize deck for me. I really, really love this deck. I do baby it because it has the red gilding and I have to be very careful of it. It can be a little rough in my shuffles, but I really enjoy this deck. And I use it so far, I've only used it for readings for myself and when I'm getting ready to do like candle magic or do things around manifestation type of readings. The magical things of life, the magical side of life is when I'm using this deck. Here are the card backs. This was quite the journey to come into the world, and I love every aspect of it now, the entire journey. And here we are. It is beautiful. It is here. It is created. Here's the Empress. I remember when Anna and Avalon were on their live streams and they were, going back and forth, saying, okay, we want to have this detail, that detail. And I specifically remember this card, and I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so in love with it. I love the idea of the mother, planted in the earth, and it's just, and she's a part of the tree. Yeah, it is so gorgeous. Here's the Seven of Pentacles. You get lost in the artwork. Knight of Wands. So yeah, the Hermit. I remember this one too. I love seeing the process from start to finish of the deck creation, and yeah, there was a lot of learning moments for all of us, and in times where it was like, oh wow, is it going to happen? Is it still going to happen? We really wanted it to happen, and then it did, and then it's like, oh, yay, it happened. Well, look at the Four of Pentacles. Okay, I'm going to show you guys the guidebook because I'm excited. It was one of the decks that flew back with me early January when I came back. Got a little dusty though. I'm not happy about that, but I'll have to clean it off. So you got that and the guidebook. And it's 2 parts. But because I was using the deck and it traveled with me on my first time coming here to this country, I just kept it in this little nice bag and did not bring the guidebook or the box. Did not bring. But look at this. Avalon wrote this. So I'm excited now that I have the guidebook to start to read up on it. Because that's now what I do. I don't buy many general tarot guidebooks anymore. I just read the guidebooks that come in with the decks. I mean, like I mentioned a few days ago, I might have some specific things I'm looking for, like tarot reversals or sex and tarot card meanings or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it would just be very specific. But yeah, Bone Stone. This is the only one I have that you have shown so far. Okay. See, that's good for me to know. It's good to know because I don't know anymore. Like I know that there's a whole slew of new decks that have come out in 2021 that are going to be coming out in 2022, and I haven't really been keeping up with them. I am only backing one deck on Kickstarter right now. And it's supposed to come a little after my birthday. So it's like a birthday gift to myself. But I don't normally do that anymore or pre-order or purchase, really. Things have slowed down. So I'm always curious to see what decks people are interested in, they're excited about, because I kind of fell back. If y'all haven't noticed, I fell back from always being in the know around what was coming out next to I'm not really in the know. Don't like so that's just that. All right, so this one I think I'm going to start using a lot again this year, 2022, and that would be the Bohemian Gothic 3rd edition by Alex Yukalov and Karen Mahoney. So demons, phantoms, vampires, and werewolves haunt this darkly Gothic deck. So there's 79 cards in here, and it's based on Rider-Waite-Smith. Established tarot meanings, it says. I love this deck so much. And it reads beautifully. And the other day I pulled it off the shelf and I was using it because it stays up there. It stays up there. I'm going to be putting all these back on the shelf when I'm done. But I pulled it off, started shuffling, did a little reading, and it was just like spot on. Even questions I didn't even quite articulate in my mind yet, but it was like kind of floating around in there. The cards jumped out and it was like on point. Like even before I even had a chance to think and utter the question. So I don't know. Here's the card backs. For the Bohemian Gothic, I had an opportunity to, at that time when I got this edition, to either get the first, second, or third, and I end up getting the third. I end up actually preferring the third over the prior 2 editions. Here's the Wheel of Fortune. It is such a mood, this deck. I don't know if I heard that it's going to be reprinted again. This is Knight of Wands, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I think, did I hear that? And it's 2023. I could be totally wrong, but if you are into the Bohemian Gothic or like goth type decks, then you probably want to jump on this, because I don't think there's any guarantee there's going to be any more printings of this deck much further based on what the creators have said in the past in social media. They could change their mind, but here is the 4 of Pentacles. Ooh, I was going to get the mini edition and also I did have an option to get the mini edition at that particular time, and then I chose the full size, but I was really heavily leaning on the mini edition because then I was like, oh, I'll travel with it and we'll bond and we'll have a cool little relationship. But at the last minute, I ended up getting the full size or regular size Knight of Pentacles, the Headless Knight. Ah, look at the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is one of those cards in a deck that helps me decide on whether or not I want to get that deck. You know, we all have those cards. For me, this is one of them. Would like the full size. I've gifted 2 full size editions before I went out of print. Wow. Yes, yes, yes. If you have been so kind and so generous to do that, then the universe will bless you with the full size. Because that's awesome that you did that. 6 of Wands. So that is the Bohemian Gothic. Again, it's one of those decks that will probably, oh, hold on. It'll probably always hit my list. Let me scoot. Okay, so I got the Bohemian Gothic Tarot Compendium. So yeah. So when this came out, I jumped on, oh, look at this. I jumped on getting this book when it was printed. When was it printed? Does it say? Oh, 2019? Has it been that long? I don't know why it felt like a year or 2 ago. Anyways, I got this, and even though the guidebook that comes with it, wherever let's see, is ample information. Like, let me see. You've got the King of Pentacles, and then the darker shadow or more hidden meanings. So you got a lot of good information here, right there. But I'm one of those people that if there's a guidebook that came out with it later, and I really love that deck, then I'm going to buy the guidebook separately. So that's what I did. Love this one. Okay, that brings me to the next one on my list. Make sure I'm right on. This is the Victorian Romantic Tarot, also by Alex Ukalov and Karen Mahoney. This was gifted to me, and I am so ever grateful because I wanted this deck for so long. And now I have a tiny little collection of Baba Studios decks. It's just so gorgeous. I love it, love it, love it, love it. It came with me because it's so easy to travel with. And I want to thank the person who gifted this to me. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Because it is one of my pride and joys in my collection. It also has like a little guidebook right here. And it has a card, but I'm not going to shake it out. It says published in 2018. Look at this gorgeousness. Look at the backs. I do baby this one because it was gifted to me and because it always is out of print, and I just love it to pieces, and I wanted it for so long, and then I finally received it. And I received it during a time when I was stressed the hell out in 2020. Oh my gosh, I was stressed out. And then this deck came in the mail, and I was like, I'm getting all welled up thinking about it. Here's the sun. Yeah. Queen of Swords. I think I will be using this one. I want to baby it, but I also want to use it. I'd used it a few times last year, and so I'm putting it on my list because I just love it. You know, you have those decks. There's a few in your collection where you're just like, you're here. And now I'm ready to use it. Maybe for me, springtime love readings. Ah, goodness gracious. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So that was number 4. Look, guys, we're making progress. We are making progress. Last time I did this. Well, barring the tech difficulties, Jesus Christ. Barring that, I'm moving faster than the Oracle one. Moving faster. I'm all flustered over my Victorian romantic. Okay, number 3. This was also gifted to me, and this was gifted to me last year. So it's the Shrine of the Black Medusa Tarot. And I have also wanted this deck for a very long time. It would come on and off my wish list, my actual literal, y'all know I have a spreadsheet wish list. And it would go off of my spreadsheet oftentimes because I would see that it would be out of print for a while. And I'm like, oh, there's no way I'm going to get it. And then every now and then it comes back into print. But a dear friend of mine gifted this to me last year, and it was perfect because I hadn't really been getting a lot of decks. I hadn't been getting a lot of decks in 2021 because I moved overseas or I moved to an island. And so I am always hesitant to have decks shipped. And so it made it here, and I was just thrilled. I love it. I love getting lost in the art of cards. The Magus. So there's always going to be a place and a space in my collection for indie decks and adding to my collection at some point when I'm called to. Yes, it's slowed down the purchasing. I think I'm sitting at 163 decks in all right now. And the height of my collection was like 252, something like that. So I've been paring down, and my next trip back to the States, back to my parents' house, I plan to bring back decks I'm not really using and sell them and give them away out there. Or maybe some people out here. I have been toying with the idea of having kind of like a library of sorts where people can come and potentially check out decks. Not these babies though. They will not be checking these ones out, but other ones, mass market ones. Moon. Wow, look at the moon card. Can you see all of that's going on? Huh. Yes, indeedy. It is delightful. It's not probably for everyone's liking or taste. And I know it's Thoth based. So there's that. But I enjoyed it when I was gifted it. I didn't use it a lot at first because I was like in a lot of transition last year. Who wasn't? But I wasn't really ready to take on learning a new deck. And then I moved here in my little office space and I started just vibing with it, pulling it out every now and then. And I'm just like, I'm one of those people that loves vibrant colors. So this is the universe. Here's the Ace of Wands. I'm going to show you guys one more. Here's the Three of Wands. Yes. Makes me happy looking at that deck. I mean, this part is it stabs you at the heart because this is Emmett Till, and yeah, it's heartbreaking. I'll just say that. I don't want to go to, I mean, he looks like Emmett Till to me. Could be totally not, but to me he does. And every time I look at the card backs, I'm like, oh my God, Google Emmett Till, please, when you have a moment. I talk about him and what happened to him a lot on my channel. So the little boy looks like him to me and it kind of freaks me out. But sometimes I go towards things that scare me, that causes all different kinds of emotions. And I now embrace that side of me. Not everybody likes to be uncomfortable, but there are some of us who learn a lot about ourselves when we are uncomfortable. So we're those ones who are like, oh, I want to explore the shadow, you know. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Moving on. Moving on to number two. We're at number two, guys. And that is the Tazama African Tarot. Very, very much love this one. Two pieces. You probably have seen it around the channel from time to time. Here's the guidebook. Here's the box. I'm a sucker for gorgeous boxes. But it's not a necessity, but I am a sucker for them because it just feels so luxe and just so special. Guidebook. Reality is heartbreaking and scary, right? And I guess because when I was growing up in tough realities of growing up in an inner urban city, and it was kind of put upon me as a kid and a young adult, it was like, well, this is your reality and you have to deal with it. And then when you're reading historical like tragedy and in the Emmett Till situation, what happened to him was only like I think like 54 miles from where my parents lived. And so it was just it's just like sometimes it's just like too much. Hence why I needed to get away for a while. So reality sometimes be like, but on the other hand, there's so much you can learn about yourself when you're faced with realities that are heartbreaking. You learn, and what do they say? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But yeah. Yeah, it's special. Do you love this one or the Shrine of the Black Medusa Tarot? This one is so special. I think you have, I don't know, do you have both of these? Or I think you have this one. I think. So discover the message within. That's what this says. It just feels so good. I think this one's in print, so if you want to get your hands on it, this feels so so good in the hands. Now this is high quality deck right here with this matte gold gilding, and then you've got the embossing, the gold embossing. Look at that. I'm trying to have the light capture it, and it's just glorious. I can't riffle shuffle the entire thing at one time. I break them up into smaller little sections. Here's the Two of Wands, Two of Swords. Yeah, I thought you had both. Nine of Pentacles. At first, I wasn't sure how I felt about that. I probably talked about this before, about the colors in the background, but then that was what I ended up falling in love with once I got the deck in hand. Because they're unexpected colors. Like I would typically associate like the bright orange like this, or like red even, no, probably bright orange like this, to the wand suit, and green to pentacles. But I love the different colors because I pick up on everything when I'm reading the cards, including the color changes that a creator may do in the cards. I let that speak to me too. The cups It's blue. But look at the swords. Normally, I associate for color like a steely blue or even a gray, I guess, with the swords. But look, we've got a bright yellowish color. Here's the sun. Three of Cups. Yeah. Thank you. The creator is, okay. It's Abusua Pa. Abusua, Abusua, Pa. And it was, yeah, let me just making sure that I got that right. I do. But the, I think the artist, images and text, copyright by Abusua Pa. Tarot card artwork by Safara Wanjagi. Okay, so that is who. Now, I know for sure my unboxing video does have in the description box. I know for sure. I'm pretty sure that I have the creator's name. So, and I'll try if I can fit it all on one line to include the creator's names when I update the description box for this video. And I just want to show you guys the guidebook. You're welcome. You're welcome. So it is the Tazama African Tarot too. And so it's got a general meaning, a reverse meaning, and an affirmation associated with it. And I think, do all of the cards? Yes, even the minors get an affirmation. So let me see. What do we have? Now it is thick cardstock. And for some people that may bother them. And it's like that rose petal finish. Ooh, the devil. Let's read the devil. Let's read the guidebook since it's short. Why did I turn right here? Why did I turn straight to the page? Okay, so general meaning, chained to your lusty desires. You have the ability to free yourself. Animal attraction. Things are getting dark. Obsessive codependency. Things can change, but only if you take action to free yourself. The pitfalls of addiction. The shadow self is here. Oh my God, we were just talking about the shadow self. Oh my God. Raw sexuality. Don't let the forces of darkness overpower you. Reverse meanings. A release from bondage. Detaching yourself from an unhealthy situation. Finally free from what's holding you back. Break the chains. Recovery. A shift towards the light. Consciousness is uplifted. Explore your dark thoughts without judging them. An affirmation. I learned from my shadow self. So, yeah, that's the guidebook. I'm sure it comes with, does it come with spreads? Yes, it does come with spreads. Reading the card section and something about a forward. Yes, we got a forward and table of contents and a word from the artist. Yeah, this is sweet. This is when you're collecting decks and you're the discerning eye where you want quality. You would want to pick something up like the Tazama because I enjoy it. It's got a little ribbon, although you have to be careful with the little ribbons because I know I have gotten a little heavy-handed. But yeah. Now we are at number 1. We are at number 1 for my top 10 indie tarot decks of 2021. Can you guys guess what that might be? Can you guess? And while we're getting ready for number 1, I just want to welcome and thank my old subscribers and welcome my new subscribers to the channel and those who are viewing and watching. Thank you. I appreciate you. And number one, it's in this bag and it's heavy. It's like fancy. I have to spoil my decks, you know. Let's see, can I get them all out? Get out. So fancy, I can't get them out of the bag. Also high quality. So this would be the Dust to Onyx Tarot. This was also gifted to me by a very special person, and thank you, because I did pick this up often last year for readings for myself. Sometimes I would give a break on my Hoodoo Tarot and would say, okay, I want to work with something else this time around. And this would be what I was called to work with. And it's amazing. It's amazing. And it was another deck that I had wanted, and then I kept hemming and hawing on it, like, I don't know if I'll be ready to get it or have it or receive it or blah, blah, blah. And then when it came and it was gifted to me, it was just like, whoa. And I traveled with it the first time coming here. That's why it was in a bag. And I left the box in the book at my parents' house, and I just recently brought them back. So it's all together, but I still keep it in a bag because I use the deck often and I don't want to keep going back and forth into the box. So look at that. There's no detail that was missed when creating this deck. Okay. I was kicking around getting the mini travelers edition of this deck of the Dust to Onyx before I received it as a gift, and then it came the full size, and then it was like, no, not at this time. I'm just gonna revel in the large size of it. Here I have it. 10 of Gourds I have tabbed here. Look at this fine book. Ether, Major Arcana. The Conjurer. We'll go through some of the cards in just a moment. Number one. This is my number one deck. I don't know. I don't even have the words for it. There's 8 of Staffs. I have no words at this time. Papa Staff. 6 of Staffs. 10 of Coins. Ah, the Conjurer is, here's the Conjurer. I was afraid to use this deck. I was intimidated. I wouldn't say afraid, intimidated. Like, would I connect with it? Would I, how will I get along with it? I was intimidated. And then we got along famously. And it's one of my ancestor approved decks that I can use. This is, sorry to cover it, this is Strength. You can see the infinity symbol over her eyes. You can see the mixed art, and it just, oh my God, it's amazing. It's very much like the Afrofuturism exhibit I went to see that I posted like a little montage of my museum visit in Oakland, California. And it was like, so this is very much Afrofuturistic to me. Let's see. How many times feel similar, not ready for what I anticipate what a deck will bring to me. Thank you. You said it perfectly, Kroon. Welcome. Thank you for joining me too. Thank you. I can't read with right? Like, and for a long time, I was like, and I attributed me having not used it a while after I got it. So I got it in what, September, sometime in 2020. And that was around the time I was making the decision to sell my house and sell all my stuff and move. And so I was like, I'm just filled up with change right now and filled into max capacity. Then I had a surgery in November, and then we sold the house, and it was just full tilt crazy. So I didn't want to take on a new deck and like try to learn a new deck at that time. But it traveled with me to my new country that I'm chilling at and that I'm spending time at. And I was able to use it and just say, I'm just going to use it and see what kind of readings. Now I'm not using it for client readings. I'm not called to, and I'm not always called to use it, but it's one of the two or maybe three decks that I would use with my ancestral type readings. And at some point, I think that out of those decks, this would be the one that I could potentially read with for clients. But we shall see. And if a client asks me if they knew that I had this in my collection, every now and then somebody will say, "Can you read with this deck?" And I'm like, I usually like to intuitively pick out the deck for the reading, but if they wanted me to give it a go, we'll give it a go. We'll see how it goes. This is when I would say, okay, I'll concede. But some people they want their clients to pick out the decks, and they have the whole system about your like a listing of all their decks. I tried that once or twice, and it just didn't. That method of picking decks to use for client readings didn't work for me. I have to be the one to choose it. So I'm off on a tangent, I know. Here's Judgment. Isn't that beautiful? So yeah, these are my top 10 indie decks of 2021. It'll be interesting, or tarot specifically too. I have to say that because there's no oracle that we're talking about today. This is Mama Coin. But I'm glad you said that. You kept it real. There's some decks it's like, I can't read with that. There are decks where I'm like, I can't at this time. And thankfully, that's why I think I was worried too. Like, am I going to be able to read with this? I'm going to buy this beautiful deck and not be able to read with it. And then, lo and behold, what's this? Oh, this is just the little card that comes with. This is the second edition too. I love when they specify the edition. Just makes it easier. So yeah, that's my list, guys. That's my list for 2021. I think that's it. That wraps up all the ones I wanted to chat with you all about. And I want to thank you all for joining me today on this glorious Saturday, whatever time it is. And yeah, let's see. Hold on. Take a sip of my water. What time is it? All right. So I've kept you guys for a while, haven't I? So yes, that's it for now. I will catch up with you all later. And let me know if you have any questions about these decks in the comments section. The description box will be updated with links to the unboxing so you can watch full flip throughs of these decks. Or it might not just be unboxings, it could be deck flip throughs I've done in the past, or deck and focuses. So yeah, I'm super excited. I think I have different live ideas. I'm thinking about doing another Where is the Deck Now video, but maybe live. I haven't decided yet. And so we'll vote on which deck. We're going to see where is it in my collection. Where is it? Oh, let's see. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for joining me today. You guys are fun. I so appreciate you all. Kim, thank you. You hung in there with me. And even today with my crazy internet connection. Roca Rola. So, bye guys. Take care. Have a great rest of your Saturday.